today the day? Oh. There you go. We're live.
Or they blocked us. They blocked us because we didn't show up on Monday.
Yeah.
It's 8:59 on Canadian Patriot Podcast. This is John McDonald with Music and Truth Until Dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 9 o'clock Canadian, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there, on or behind the line, this is your song. And if I didn't have technical difficulties, we'd get music to work. But here we are.
And we would have been on time and not 9 minutes late.
Well, things
you
to work on for next week.
You get what you pay for, right?
It's the thought that counts.
As always, my name is Andrew. I will be your host this evening. Joining me for book club, we have Pierre, Gavin, and Dave.
And you forgot to mention it's episode 316.
That's a good point. I'm going to have to fix the new intro.
Yeah, recorded September 28th, 2021. Ben, we'd love to hear your feedback about the show. Please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Feel free to tell Andrew how he can improve or alter the intro. A version of the show is available on Stitcher and iTunes.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. Get a better quality version of the show for just $1 an episode. Show you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right.
This brings us to my favorite segment. It's called, Oh God, What Did Brian Buy Me This Week?
That sounds about right.
No, this is What Are We Drinking? It's where I get adequately lubricated for book club. Let's go anti-clockwise. Dave, we'll start with you. Dave, what are you drinking?
We're taking it easy tonight. Rattlers. We're rehydrating after a good day at the range.
Dave forgot to go to the beer store.
Also true.
It happens. It happens.
It's got alcohol, okay?
Even though, there's one right next to the range, but whatever.
It's because you used them all last night, right?
I was at a wedding on the weekend. Many things were consumed.
Oh boy. Gavin, what are you drinking?
I am having the opposite problem of Dave, where my fridge overrunneth with alcohol that people have left. So I needed to make some space. So I'm drinking a grower cider in honor of other Andrew who's not here and is a big, cider head. Thinking of you, buddy.
Pierre, what are you drinking?
40 Creek and Pepsi.
Nice.
Maybe straight. I mean, we're talking a little classy tonight. Maybe I'll cut out the Pepsi and just drink it straight and see how the night goes on.
I have probably the first beer in 317 episodes that I will not have a second time. This is raked over from Wellington Brewery. The can art is fantastic. The concept is good, but the execution, not unlike a certain eco-terrorist, slightly
the
flawed.
Uncle Ted of beers.
It's an IPA with mango, pineapple, and habanero.
Habanero? The fuck is going on?
It's a spicy beer. I don't like it.
Everything's a fucking travesty.
Oh man, that is diarrhea in a can. That is like, if that was on draft and you had like 6 of those, that would be a bad night and a really bad morning.
It's not bad. It's 6.9%. It's not bad. It's like 52 IBU, but it's just like all I can taste is burning. I can't actually taste flavors.
Why do you keep subjecting yourself to it? It sounds terrible. Just
because Brian got it for me, and we finally found a beer that I won't drink. I'm not sure.
Still drink it.
Okay, but I'm
still going to drink it.
Now stop drinking it.
No, for science, I need to do this. Also, because
fair.
When you're sitting on the toilet tomorrow, fucking spewing like hot acid, remember I warned you.
Not unlike Rayman, once I start a thing, I need to do the thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right.
I have a similar affliction. especially when it comes to watching terrible movies, because I'm always hoping that they will redeem themselves in the end.
Mhm.
They never do.
It's like the
So you-
Ever,
like the
but I
G.I.
still
Joe
have
you
to
appreciated my Red Dawn intro
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
Excellent.
but that's not
excellent.
a terrible movie. That's an
Yeah, that was
excellent
just-
movie.
that was
Unless
just
you're
a
talking
movie,
about the
yeah.
remake, in which case
The remake was god awful bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was hopeless. That was hopeless for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I have the same thing. Even if a movie is crappy, I'm like, I'll normally try and sit there and give it a
I've got to
chance.
watch it. I've got to finish it.
That was
can't
me and
not.
G.I. Joe. I thought maybe it was just gonna turn around.
Oh yeah, no, GI Joe, they shit the bed real bad.
Yeah, it never
Yeah,
turned
no,
around.
they
They,
should've
they
done
probably
that.
had a beer like
Best
Andrew
the
there.
best rendition of G.I. Joe is on what that one with that
Sunday morning cartoons, and it should have stayed there. Yeah.
or Seth Green.
I mean,
Yeah.
where's the lie? I feel like my microphone is unusually close to me, but my levels look wrong. Oh well. Anyway, let's go with it. Patriot Challenge. 5 things every day. Be a better person, because we might all end up in the same gulag. When that happens,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we live a very long time. So exercise for
Yeah.
45 minutes, practice a skill for 10, read a book for 15. Hey, look, it's the last Monday of the month. Well, it's the last Tuesday of the month because we're delayed. It's the last podcast of the month, so we're doing book club. Drink 2 liters of water and complete a task that will improve your life. And since I got to spend quality time with Dave today, Dave, how much water did you drink at the range today?
Actually, 2 liters. Yeah, it wasn't enough today.
Weak.
I was a little light,
Weak. Your
yeah.
bloodline is weak, and you're an embarrassment to your ancestors.
I'm catching up now.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
That beer is not catching up, Dave.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up, buddy.
I
Yeah.
drank 4 liters of water at the range today. I peed almost as much as I shot.
To be honest with you, it was the right color though. So I was not, underhydrated. It was
I'm giving you grief.
clear,
I'm
but
just giving you grief.
and we shot 50s to end the day. Like it was a good.
We
finish to the
did.
day.
We,
Finished
we,
strong.
we Dave and I had a good day practicing for service pistol.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I'm ready to
nice.
kick. I'm ready to kick ass this weekend. That fucking sword is ours. It's as good
Yeah.
as
Championship,
the belt is
do
going to
that
be.
thing.
Return home.
which I mean, a lot of our stuff, the Patriot Challenge stuff, they was like literally go to the range and like get ready to win the
Well,
provincial
that's it.
championship.
It's important for everyone, like you said, in case we all end up in the same gulag. But even more importantly, in case we end up in the gulag and you guys don't, you can come and help us get out of the gulag because you've done your Patriot Challenge
Wolverines.
stuff. Yeah.
We'll come. Oh, we'll come.
Or we could be the ones to come and get you out, but only to our Patreons. That's the $20 level. Is the to
There's
get
a
you out
there's
of
a
the
tier
gulag.
for that.
And
Go
that's-
go
that's
look
the
on
Wolverine
Patreon.
get out of
Yeah.
gulag free card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need to make a patch for that, honestly.
I think we could work something out.
We know some
So-
guys.
Section 74 challenges are, well, I guess ongoing. I think everybody got theirs deferred. I don't think that
Yeah.
anybody that was on that hasn't already had their challenge already dismissed. I think everybody's been deferred. Legal proceedings are expensive. Go kick some money in for this. Gun laws are dumb.
Yes.
All gun laws are an infringement.
Well, yeah, in a libertarian social order, we wouldn't have to worry about these sort of things. But anyway, book club,
Book club.
book club.
Good one this
Which
one.
may be just as triggering.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I found this
know.
book kind of triggering. Not like as bad as like Solominsky and that stuff, but just triggering nonetheless.
Yeah, triggering in a
let's-
helpless kind of way, I think.
Let's get into some book clubs. So this month, new confessions, or I guess we agreed on Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I grabbed the new edition, which is called The New Confessions of an Economic Hitman, which is the same book, just with more chapters at the end.
Just goes
Because
closer
it
up
is
to where we are at present time, basically.
Yes, I think this ends in 2019.
Yeah, where the other one ends at like 04, I think. Or the one that we were, slated to read was about 04.
This one goes up to, so this one goes 2004 to today, but I think today is like, I think it really goes to like 2017 or 2018, something like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Perkins, not a spy, kind of a spy.
I mean, a spy with a
Kind of
conscience
a
at the
shitty
minimum.
leftist, but not a shitty leftist, but also
Yeah.
a shitty leftist.
Yeah, I did kind of, so it's an autobiography of sorts.
Yeah.
It's not really, and so I guess starting criticism with this, I don't love the way that it's written because it's an autobiography that's not about the person writing the autobiography. It's not a story of John Perkins' life. Like it's not about him.
It's not a play-by-play.
But it's about him. It's about his interaction in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not like an autobiography where it's like I grew up in this place and my parents had this and I had these experiences and I went to Boy Scouts and I grew up to become an astronaut and I went to space and then I'm describing Mark Garneau's autobiography. It was kind of little snippets of his life, but it wasn't a narrative like this is what I did to get to where I was. It was more like I battled some demons in my conscious because I thought I was being a shitty person, but I just kept on being a shitty person because the money was good.
Yeah. Well, he never really got into like specifics about anything really.
No.
People he met.
Yeah,
the people he met, and some of the conversations with the people were interesting, but the actual like technical detail is very light.
Yeah.
Well, and then it could be just because he literally bullshitted. He made it all up. So there is no technical detail because it's all made up.
I know, but like
at least according to him.
I've done a not insignificant amount of mathematics, and some of that, not that I profess to have a great deal of understanding of economics, but I have taken more than a couple of courses in that. They really don't explain any of the modeling or things that he did or how his team of economists did any of the forecasting they did. It sounds like they made up a lot of things.
Well, so do you guys think that this is a true account or is this bullshit? Or do you not know?
Confirmation bias is like my second favorite kind of bias. So like I want this to be true because it would confirm things about my worldview that I already believe, but also it fits so nicely together as a little narrative. Like it's almost like it reads like it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it kind of eye-opening, as in like, everybody assumes or would think dirty of governments doing shady shit. And if the book is legit, like it just kind of confirms everything everybody probably assumes already is going on.
Yeah, I don't think that it necessarily like that the detail is needed though. I mean, it's all plain for you to see in the outcomes of what has happened across the globe and all the places that he's gone, right?
Well, and I don't disagree with that. And like I said, I really want to believe that this is all an honest, factual account of what happened, and they just didn't include like the technical details.
Yeah, the technical details of we'll kill your family if you don't do this, or
No, I don't. Not even like the threat of killing people's family. I mean, like literally, like how did you forecast the model for
Guatemala,
Panama,
Ecuador,
for the electrical grid? Because you like there was an electrical engineer there that was like that was his job, was to forecast electrical load. How did you arrive at those figures? What figures were they like?
Yeah, but like if this guy, like, I mean, I know he talks about it in the book about how like he's so scared if he comes forward that they're going to assassinate him and all of this stuff. But like, if they can somehow assassinate Epstein, who by the way didn't kill himself, in a jail cell under guard because he's on suicide watch, how can they not get this guy who, like, up until him publishing this book, no one knew who he was?
No.
And I would still say that like nobody knows who he is in the grand scheme of things, because it's not like his name is super well known or famous.
No, and I mean, okay, so New York Times bestselling novel, cool.
Who isn't though?
So is like every other book, because the way that they do the stats is based on book orders, not based on any actual like
half to 3/4 of those guys on that list are Navy SEALs.
I thought they were all Navy SEALs.
Well, there's a few guys that aren't, like this guy. That's his next book, though. It's all about.
I think he tried to write this book for the layman, honestly, And I think he
Well,
just thought that he would lose a lot of interest or a lot of people. if he
and
started getting
maybe
down
that's
to
the
nitty-gritty.
case.
I don't know.
The confirmation bias almost like it seems too good to be true.
yeah, and I mean, I don't doubt that some of this stuff actually happened and continues to happen and everything else. Maybe it wasn't this guy. Maybe he was privy to some of this and not all of it. That doesn't have the details, which is why he can't write about them. Or maybe, yeah, like Dave's saying, he just, what was the point of telling people how to do it? Because that's not the point of the book. Merely to just tell them that this was happening is the point.
Well, it is the point of the book to tell people that it happened. Because if that was the point, I mean, why has this guy not actually been assassinated if he was so worried about that?
Well, I mean, yeah.
I feel like his word's gotten out enough. That,
I guess he didn't have anything that would lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. So
yeah, that's it.
I did find that there were some characters that were conspicuously absent from this book. So I mean, maybe Gavin, maybe that is the case. Maybe,
Yeah.
unlike Harambe, he did not have information that would lead to arrest of the Clintons.
yeah,
He actually kind of glosses over the Clintons quite a bit in this book.
Well, I mean, there's a number
I mean,
of
he served for 8 years. You'd think there would have been some mention of his goings on.
Yeah, he kind of-
Bosnia or something, you know.
Yeah, he
that
kind of
lined up.
completely surpassed it, right? Like he surpassed
I mean,
that.
maybe
8
it's
years.
because that's when he was out of the game, and so there wasn't really much for him to report because he wasn't on the in, I guess. I don't know, hard to say.
Yeah.
well, let's go into part of the book here. I'm haunted every day by what I did as an economic hitman. I'm haunted by the lies I told back then about the World Bank. I'm haunted by the ways in which that bank, its sister organizations, and I empowered U.S. corporations to spend their cantankerous tentacles across the planet. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be cancerous tentacles across the planet. I'm haunted by the payoffs of leaders of poor countries, the blackmail, the threats if they resisted, if they refused to accept loans that would enslave their countries in debt. The CIA's jackals would overthrow or assassinate them. I wake up sometimes to the horrifying images of heads of state, friends of mine who died violent deaths because they refused to betray their people. Like Shakespeare's Lady Macbeth, I try to scrub the blood from my hands. Like, he's not a bad writer.
No,
well,
No.
I mean he had help too.
No,
It just all dovetails very, very nicely if it's true.
he does seem to be a bit of a degenerate, though, and has a bit of a problem with the ladies.
It's his upbringing. It's definitely his upbringing. Even it's like almost self-admitted.
Oh, well, it is
Yeah.
self-admitted. And in one of the very early chapters, he blames his lack of
Social skills, I guess.
yeah, I think social skills is a good word for it. His ability to interact with women in
Yeah.
he's from like New England. He's from Puritan stock. He went to an all boys school that if his parents hadn't been teachers, he wouldn't have been able to afford to go to. And then he was like incredibly rebellious at the beginning of his like college university career. So also his first marriage doesn't work out. And it's very strongly alluded to and then later confirmed that he had an affair on his wife with the person who was training him how to become an economic hitman, who may or may not have ever actually existed, because it turns out there's no proof of them when he went to go look them up later.
Sounds like a classic honeypot situation to me.
It does seem a little bit like that. And I think it's worth mentioning because, I mean, like, that's the super fast synopsis of this guy's life. He's not a spy. He works for a consulting engineering firm, and he travels the world convincing countries to do large investment, long-term economic projects, build power plants and distribution systems and ports and terminals. And
But the catch is that all of these projects make it sound like they're going to help the country, but really they bankrupt them because they don't do what they're supposed to do, and then they keep on having to spend the money to finish paying off the thing so that they can't actually put it towards their citizens and actually better the country, thereby keeping them, in control by.
And I mean, really, that's
America.
that's the premise of sort of the whole book. Is this is sort of the new American Western imperialism from the 1960s, say like about 1965, 1967 onward. So like the beginning of the end of Vietnam, right? Like just after Kennedy was president, like through, well, current through 2004, and then with the updated version of the book through 2000, I think it goes to about 2017. It really is about getting the big contracts to do those big capital, like long-term foundational projects, like power generation and distribution, ports and terminals, public transit, getting those big projects and getting American firms in to do the design and engineering, and then paying giant sums of money to effectively bribe people to get the work done. So, well, your cousin has a construction company, so we'll sole source them the job, but we'll pay double the going rate. And, your cousin can give you some money on the back end to make up for that. And you get rich and he gets rich. But like really at the end of the day, 5 years later, the power plants don't really get built, or they don't do what they're supposed to do. And the people that they're supposed to be benefiting in these countries don't get the perceived benefits or the benefits they were sold.
Yeah.
But the country still has to pay the World Bank or the IMF or the Americans or whoever's funding the project. Yeah, you still have to pay back all the principal plus the interest, and you have a product or a service that you receive that doesn't meet what you were sold on it. So like when they're doing power projections, as an example, they're, the country's going to use 8% more power a year for 25 years. So you have to build the grid with that in mind. So it's all forecasted out so that we have enough capacity today for 25 years from now before it goes obsolete. It has to be replaced. But like they never meet the projections.
Yeah. So they're always continuing to have to pay more and more and more and continually get further indebted to all of these companies just to meet the needs of now, and not even necessarily now, but meet the needs of yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that part is interesting, is this guy is a consultant effect. Like he works in private industry. He works for Maine Consulting. I have a note here about that. It's TJ Hooker in Maine. Yeah. Chaz T. Maine Inc. I was close.
Yeah.
But like they're but the thing is it does allude to like, these giant companies are embedded with the American government to,
well, and he does mention the corporatocracy.
Yeah, but I mean it makes sense to me, but for other places that they have been, that didn't quite make sense to me before, but it does now.
Well, I mean, maybe this, I don't even know if this company still exists or what, but like there are other companies like it, that do the same thing. So like Halliburton being one that's more recent, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the name drop as well. And like
that was the one that I picked up too, because that was a very early name drop, like 1970s, talking about like there's the company he worked at, Maine, Chase T. Maine Inc. Stone and Webster, Brown and Root, Halliburton, and Bechtel. Well, I don't know if Bechtel exists anymore, but I remember, I've heard of them, and Halliburton existed during the first Iraq War.
Yeah.
Right. So like,
and in the latter part of the book, they talk about being in that part of the world and doing stuff and everything else, and like
why are they there?
Right. Well, and so there's different groups of people that they send in. So like, the economic hitmen are the guys that they send in first to mess with a country to see if they can be successful and get them on the hook that way. But then he also alludes to the jackals, which I'm guessing is some sort of like CIA or other group clandestine type service that goes in and just like either does like a, Bay of Pigs invasion or like some other
usually starts a
secret
coup
thing that
sort.
You maybe don't know about.
Yeah, it usually starts a coup, backs one government or another to that.
Which would be why they maybe name drop some, people that provide military type contracts and some other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
or have ties to people that do that kind of work.
Oh, for sure. I think it's fairly early on in the book that he mentions a country where they're pumping oil and they get the Americans to do all the infrastructure, and the price of oil, they end up getting like less than $1 a barrel because they're paying on interest and all the initial whatever, they were promised they would make, let's say, $10 a barrel. But after everything's said and done, like they get less than $1 per barrel to pump back into the economy, which ends up costing them more than what they make. I didn't
Is
make
that
notes.
is that when he's talking about oil in Ecuador in South America?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's Ecuador. Yeah, it's fairly early on in the book. I know that one.
And I believe it's pronounced Ecuador. You need a little bit more phlegm in the back of your throat.
I absolutely
Straight to
do
jail.
not.
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
Jail or jail?
Straight to jail.
I don't know if I have any good quotes in that chapter. That's chapter 24 in my copy.
But yeah, I mean, their job is to go in and schmooze the elites and the politicians and get them on board and make them more rich than they already are, and make the rest of the people basically even worse off than they are.
Yeah, even worse. And it doesn't always necessarily benefit the rich and mighty, right? Like they go in and they talk with the political leaders and the people with the deep pockets that, have the ear to everybody in the government or whatever, and they figure out how to sweet talk them.
Well, it just all depends what they want. Do they want the oil there, or do they want the rights to the Panama Canal? It just depends what they want from you.
Or do they want to just literally keep out other governments from doing the same thing? I get like, not that this guy's a government employee.
Yeah, but
he's not collecting government paycheck. He's not a spy. He doesn't work for the CIA.
His company.
But his company, he's part of the, and I like how they've included the corporatocracy in this. I don't know if this is where that term comes from, but this is the first book I've read. I've heard the term, but this is the first book where I've read, I guess the earliest published book where I've read that term. So I don't know if he gets credit for corporatocracy, but to say to be part of it and how it works the way that it works, I thought that was good to be in there, because all of these groups and interests aligned and working together to achieve a common end.
Yeah.
Right. And some of that is like literally the Panama Canal example is literally they wanted to keep the Japanese from building their own canal.
Japanese from building a newer canal that was better, and they would have sole rights to, or
but it would be the same, like rights. It would be the same, like some Japanese consulting engineering firm would be going to Panama and being like, we can build you a canal, you can give us lots of money, your cousin that owns the construction company can do the work and we'll pay whatever. And we'll get
the Americans have the bigger army, right? And they went in there by force when they had enough.
They don't want somebody else fucking the country. They want to fuck the country.
Yeah, and we have the military to back it up. Your military will, we will crush you.
I would prefer joining in and fucking something than sitting in the corner with a bag of popcorn. So I understand the state's point of view from that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? And the
but I mean,
thing
like, dicks also
end,
fuck assholes, right? Like that's
the thing is, at the end of the day, that it kind of mind fucks you is that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like, you want the American economy strong because that's what the Canadian economy lives off of, right? The economy, if the American economy is not booming, then we're not booming. And
this is
someone who lives in this country, right?
I don't disagree, but I have a problem with how our economy functions, because the idea of
that's
of like
Western is right there, that our economy functions.
The idea of Western imperialism is that our economy has to keep growing, and at some point we can't. There are finite resources. It's a finite planet. Like, I mean, I guess conceivably we could leave and go somewhere else, but again, like, we just have the same problem on a bigger scale. It's a finite amount of resources. If we keep adding people, the amount of resources does not go up. Scarcity is a thing. I don't know that Keynesian economics is really like the best system of economics, but like scarcity is an observable phenomenon.
Yeah. There are several other economic theories that also confirm that portion of it.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like the Keynesian part maybe is not like the best economics, but like scarcity is an observable phenomenon.
Yeah.
There's only so much stuff that our economy, like Western imperialism economy, is based on growth year over year. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where we can't keep the growth going. Right? Like eventually you're going to hit market cap and there's no more opportunity, right?
Yeah. Every city will be, urban sprawl. There's not really anywhere to, go.
Right. So like the whole like the John Rockefeller Standard Oil thing, or like United Fruit, right? Like these are both like, yeah, okay. At one point, we could exploit another part of the world to get a bunch of fruit on plantations and ship it to the US, and we could have bananas for 12 cents a pound.
But eventually you've exploited every country that can be exploited.
Right.
Without like seriously destabilizing another country to get them on board, which may not even be financially worth it. You've reached your peak, and you're not really going to grow exponentially.
Well, and that becomes the problem of like, okay, so now we have like major superpowers that are all basing their economies on the same set of problems. Yeah. Okay, so the Americans and the Chinese are arguing about like who gets to exploit resources in Africa. Right? Like nobody's arguing about like not doing it. We're just arguing about like which world superpower gets to do the exploitation.
Whether anyone in Africa wants either of them in there.
Yeah. But, who's going to be the first in the train that we run on this country? Because that's what's happening.
That's, I mean, that is kind of how that.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always nice being first on the train.
Well, I mean, look
on
at
the
what's
upside,
happening
whoever goes to
Afghanistan
Afghanistan loses.
Yeah, I'm saying, look what happens in Afghanistan right now. The Chinese are in there, so they're
throwing their hand at it.
Well, they're trying to be first in that train that gets run on there. But as Andrew just said, it's probably not going to work out so good for them because nobody wins when they go to Afghanistan. So pick somewhere else in the world.
The only people that win at Afghanistan are the people in Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanis.
Yeah. And I don't even know if that really technically counts as winning.
I think it's all a lose-lose.
Losing like, the least.
Yeah. As long as you like beheadings and like praising Allah, then it's you're golden. Otherwise,
and sand, lots of sand.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not the greatest of times.
And heavy metals.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, not like the good kind of heavy metal.
No.
All of
not like Pantera. No Pantera.
No Pantera.
Not a lot of Pantera. No.
It's Elon Musk type metal. It's all that lithium. Sweet lithium.
Yeah, but like if you love the beach but hate the ocean, it's a great place to be.
Call your agent. Book a flight today.
Just be a one-way because you can get your own helicopters and airplanes and everything over there to fly back.
Drive out with an MRAP and then come see us. We'll make you an offer.
Yeah.
I do have a note on John's hubris fairly early in the book, but I thought it might be a good teachable moment. This is very early. This is about Panama in the middle to late 60s. At first, all the attention went to my head. I began to think of myself as a Merlin who could wave his wand over a country, causing it to suddenly light up, industry sprouting like flowers. Then I became disillusioned. I questioned my own motives and those of the people that I worked with. It seemed that a glorified title or PhD did little to help a person understand the plight of a leper living beside a cesspool in Jakarta. And I doubted that the knack for manipulating statistics enabled a person to see into the future. The better I came to know those that made the decisions that shaped the world, the more skeptical I became about their abilities and their goals. I doubted whether limited resources would allow the whole world to live the opulent life of the United States, and when the United States had millions of citizens living in poverty. In addition, it wasn't entirely clear to me that the people in other nations actually wanted to live like us. Our own statistics about violence, depression, drug abuse, divorce, and crime indicated that although ours was one of the wealthiest societies in history, it might also be one of the least happy societies. Why would we want others to emulate us? Looking at the faces in the meetings I attended, my skepticism often turned to silent anger at the hypocrisy. It's like, he keeps trying to be a good guy.
But then he's like, but also money.
but also a lot of money.
Yeah.
Money and Bob's and Vagine.
And not an
Yeah,
inconsequential
yeah.
number
All
of
the
women.
Bobs and Vagine. Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was kind of like there's definitely some hubris there because he's like, I know that I'm just like making up BS and people are nodding and going along with it, but also nobody cares that I'm making up BS. But also maybe it's bad because we're not really taking these countries into consideration, but also fuck them.
Yeah, he like realizes how filthy stinking rich he is for how little he fucking did.
Daddy needs a new pair of like super
Loafers.
expensive, Italian leather loafers. Yeah.
I need that new Bugatti Veyron.
Yeah.
Is that a handbag?
No, that was a
I think so.
Supercar. 400
No,
kilometers
I'm
an
pretty
hour.
sure it's a handbag.
Okay, it's a handbag.
Sounds like a purse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep wanting to try and like the guy, but also like he's kind of a slimy POS.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is.
I feel like he's a
Like-
self-admitted slimy POS. He knows it.
Well,
He just
but I think
wants
that's
to come
like,
clean about it.
It makes him like, in my opinion, like a classic leftist, right? Like his heart's in the right place and everything. Like he goes and joins the Peace Corps and does all these things because he thinks it's the right thing to do. And he kind of gets sucked into this thing at first thinking that it's the right thing to do. And then the minute that he learns that, like, wait a minute, I'm not helping people. I'm making them miserable.
I am fucking shit right
Indebting them and their great grandchildren.
Too fucking.
Yeah.
But also, I get
The
to
life of
travel
hell.
the world and go and stay in these amazing hotels and eat all of the caviar and this and that and everything else. So, meh.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I didn't choose the life. It chose me.
Don't hate
Or-
the player,
or he
hate
ends
the
up-
game.
yeah.
And he ends up like somewhere down south and like on like
I mean,
a yacht.
I mean, at the end of the day, kudos to him for at least realizing his folly and trying to put it out there, even if it may
Yeah,
be
but, like,
a
at the
little,
same
a little
time,
come
though,
off as a
like,
little shallow.
You know, and not to
Yeah.
bring it back around to this, like, because yes, this is a step in the right direction, but bro, if you're gonna write a tell-all book, I want names.
Yeah, you need to
I
tell
want names. I want dates. I want like
When did Bush like make the order?
account
When
numbers,
did Hillary?
like-
Yeah, when did Hillary, put the order in?
At what point did Epstein not kill himself?
Yes.
like, if this is the book that's gonna set the record straight, set the record straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of leave it way too vague with how much he talks about, like he wants to clear his conscience and make good on all his
Well, Because
unfortunate
if you're worried
series.
that they're
Like,
gonna kill you,
Yeah.
this is enough that they should kill you over. So you
Yeah.
may as well you can't be half pregnant, right? Like, so just like go all the way.
Well, at least if you already released the first version and realize, nothing really happened. If you're gonna release a second, a version 2.1 or whatever you want to call it, then you need to name some names at least in the new one as well.
Yeah.
Go back and like, this is who I was talking about here, and this is who I was talking about here. Half of them are probably already dead, or half of them
It's like
are
that
too
whole
old to care
Corey
now.
Feldman
Well,
abuse thing in Hollywood where he keeps threatening to name names, but only if you give him a bunch of money. And you're like, bro, just name the names. If you don't, you're continuing to let people be abused by Hollywood dirtbags. But nah, same difference. Tell me names.
Yeah.
Not some people that you can't even figure out if they exist anymore because they honeypotted you.
Call the FBI and get them.
I noticed one other thing with the book, and maybe it's because it's his perspective, but it seems to focus on the same countries over a period of years. Like, because like he starts doing this work in the late 60s, and this goes through the 2000s.
Yeah.
Parts of South America, Ecuador, Colombia,
Panama.
Panama. Panama is a big one.
Yeah.
But how much international trade goes through Panama?
All
A
of the
shitload.
trade.
Yeah,
A shipload? A shipload.
Haha, I
And-
see what you
and-
did there.
many shiploads.
and a decent song.
Yes. So
It's true.
I
I've actually been to Panama. It's actually kind of a neat thing and seen the canal. I actually saw the house that they like Noriega was like barricaded in when they were blasting Panama at him.
Do we do we need to make shirts that said Noriega did nothing wrong?
I don't know that Noriega did much wrong. I don't know that he was necessarily a good dictator, but
Yeah, he maybe shouldn't have like ran to his beach house to hide there to be blasted with heavy metal music, which isn't even really all that heavy metal. It was like, I mean, I don't
Metallica, wasn't it?
No, it was like Van Halen Panama. Like,
yeah, it was Van Halen. They just like Van Halen on repeat.
I mean, I get pretty annoyed too, but I wouldn't leave my house.
Heavy metal, but like,
yeah. You figure out the wording of what you want that shirt to say,
But
and
still,
but
still, the thing is, I feel for him because he was a nationalist, and they came in there and sticked it in dry.
Well, and the Americans totally screwed his country.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
They stuck it in dry.
Oh, but they wanted control over the canal, and that's why they had like.
But the Americans already had control over the canal.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they wanted more. They wanted more, man.
And this is that they wanted more. The same thing with Iran. They keep going back to Iran in this book.
Yeah,
right.
Iran and Iraq.
Well, I mean, implying there's a difference. I mean,
other than a letter.
I know there's a difference between Iran and Iraq, but I mean, like,
Iraq was.
There are parts. There are parts of the world that
to the Middle East, right?
Well, but that's my problem. There are parts of the world that the European Empire just like arbitrarily drew lines on and called them countries. And like, just because the European empires drew maps did not make them actual countries.
Well, it's really hard to draw a line in the sand when it's sand dunes and the wind keeps blowing
moving
them.
it. Yeah.
And like what might be like 3,000 feet tall today won't be the next day because it's just constantly drifting. But
Iran comes up quite a lot in this book. Panama comes up quite a lot in this book. I did appreciate that again, like point for John. He was willing to learn a lot of languages to be able to negotiate with all of these people, and he didn't work through intermediaries, although he often seemed to have somebody with him as a translator and or driver and or bodyguard. He was able to, like, I think so obviously he spoke American.
Yeah.
I think he spoke Farsi. He spoke Spanish. Maybe there's more.
Probably. I mean, he definitely like.
I think he spoke Latin as well.
Through his interests of like, as a kid, it seemed that like he was interested in culture and language and stuff like that, which is what drove him to go to the Peace Corps to go and like do good work and like help people out. And was doing all that stuff, and then clearly an intelligent guy based on his story.
Allegedly.
But then gets basically, corrupted by the devil vagina magic. And,
well, the only thing worse than women is no women. So
yeah.
You'd think we'd be in the same shoes though if Jack Donovan was around.
Well, no, because he's into men.
He's also not about women, so
yeah. But somebody should have been there to speak to John and say to him, don't look at her. Industrial society is temporary, but nature is eternal.
Don't think with that brain. Use the other head. Use that brain.
I mean, of all the book clubs that we've done, the 2 episodes on industrial society and its future are probably my favorites.
I love how that, like, of all the books that we've done that have been like exponentially longer and more, more complex, but like
not how exponents work, but carry on.
Like much longer reads and much more.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, I'm just saying that's not what an exponent is or how it works. But yes, we have done significantly longer books than Industrial Society in its future.
And that's I think
Industrial Society in its future was the longest podcast.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like,
and for me, the most fun.
Yeah,
I think to go through
the book size to podcast ratio is definitely skewed on that one.
Yeah, you read what 58% of the book on the podcast?
Something 57, 58, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very
short read most of it because it's a dense.
I think that's the thing is it's a very dense book.
But
Unlike this book.
But
which is-
Kaczynski also didn't spend a lot of time talking about like his repressed childhood sexual desires and how he cheated on multiple women.
I thought we agreed that we aren't going to do Ayn Rand.
Yeah, I definitely still don't want to talk about Ayn Rand. Fuck Ayn Rand.
I think she would like that very much.
Depends if I wear the Hugo Boss outfit or not.
Yeah. But yeah, this book is I enjoyed this book. It was a good read, and I don't think it's entirely full of shit.
No.
No, I really want it to be accurate and factual because confirmation bias is.
It was very just scratching the surface.
Yes.
I have that feeling.
I feel like if this book needed to name names, it would probably be 3 times the thickness, right?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
So to speak.
As
Yeah.
Sorry to hear she wishes it was more.
But yeah, it would definitely be a girthier novel. But I think it maybe, I don't know, maybe it should name a couple. Doesn't have to name them all. Some of the key ones.
Name the ones that are already dead.
Name them all. Name them all and let people figure it out for themselves.
I don't disagree. You should name them all, but I mean, I guarantee you, there's probably 6-7 people you probably mentioned in that book that are probably dead by now.
Well, yeah, because the CIA killed a bunch of them.
But some are untouchable too, though. Like, I mean,
but
the people that
they probably used Swedish case. You can't even prove it was the CIA.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, yeah, name the people that aren't, politically involved right now, or on the mainstream media. Like, until this book came out, has other than friends and family, had anybody heard of this person? Right, and I can guarantee you, if you drop some names, some people would be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And they'd probably have to Google their names. So I mean, like, yeah, and there's enough people out there that's, name drop it. I mean, if you decided to do kind of douchebag things, and fuck a whole 8 generations of a country just to lace your pockets, like, yeah, no, you should be named out. I don't disagree with that.
Naming is the very first of the list of things we should be doing to those people.
I'm just talking what he should have specifically done, right? Name the names. Then from there,
man, drop it like it's hot. Just drop them. Just like let us all know.
No, I do because I have a different edition of the book than some people. Do you have the things to do at the end? The last chapter, second to last chapter, there's a list of things to do. There was homework.
Oh, my dog ate it.
No,
I don't want to say unkind things, but I find that difficult to believe at this stage.
Totally okay.
In my defense, you didn't clarify if we needed the second edition or first edition. So
well, this is why I'm asking. In
second edition,
the new edition, in the new confessions, there are things to do, which, unlike Industrial Society and its future, I find are actually helpful suggestions rather than, I don't fucking know, letter bombs, I guess.
Well, I mean, if everyone did that, it would be very helpful. Allegedly. This is an entertainment podcast, and nothing we say is taken seriously.
Go back and listen to those episodes. Uncle Ted doesn't actually say send people letter bombs.
No,
he just did send people letter bombs.
Doesn't tell you not to either. I'm just saying.
I did this. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it or that you should, but this is the route I took. Pick your own route from there.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's worth necessarily going through all of these because he has a list of things to do, things for everybody to do, things for retired people to do, things for students to do, things for corporations to do, things for entrepreneurs to do. He's got a lot of, not a lot.
There's a lot of feel-good stuff, to be honest with you.
There's 10 pages of suggestions of things that we can do generally to sing Kumbaya and come together as a society. But there's not a single one that says violently overthrow evil dictators.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Like I said, it was a lot of feel good stuff that is basically it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change.
Well, I don't know that it'll not change anything, but okay,
It's not
Number
gonna be
two.
he's talking
Because
about.
number one, number one's like some serious hippy dippy granola BS. Keep telling a new story.
The fuck
This
is
one
it?
time at bank camp.
Yeah.
But
was it?
different story. There's examples. I'm not reading it. F word that. But 2 and 3, shop and invest consciously and live consciously. So like, it's not terrible advice. Like, be aware of what's going on and like make choices that you believe are ethically sound.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that people subconsciously already make those decisions before they read 400 pages of this fucking book.
Well, so that's kind of the thing is that the people who are going to make good decisions, like you're gonna, I don't know, source ethically produced foods. You're gonna go to get meat that's raised and slaughtered ethically, right? Like that's a common example, right?
It's 180 grain, 30 caliber.
Right. But like the people that are doing that are already doing that.
That's what I mean, right? So I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, okay, it's not a bad recommendation.
No, but
I just have a hard time
preaching to the choir.
Exactly, right? I don't think that people that don't give a crap about anything, and they're like, no, if I can save 3 cents per pound of ground beef, I'm going to go for that. They're not going to be reading this book. You can ask them or recommend it and hand them the book, and I don't see them, or it's unlikely, let's say, that they're going to read that book and really take into consideration his.
Well, and that's kind of the thing is like I think there are 2 people that are going to read this book. There are people like me that are looking for some tasty confirmation bias. And there are people that are going to get to like halfway through this and not get to the end and be like, F this, I'm not finishing it, and not even get to the suggestion on things to do to like.
No, I don't disagree.
Well, but those are the kind of people that are like, this is probably made up BS and right-wing propaganda to make you think that helping third world countries is garbage.
Right? Are you trying to tell me that's not the case?
Well, yes, but for different reasons.
Aha. This is like the time that I said voting Green Party was a good idea.
Yeah, or agreeing with the NDP.
A thing I have been known to do on more than one occasion.
Yeah, but you can agree with them. I can agree with the statement with a lot of people. Doesn't mean I support them.
Yeah, and it's why are you agreeing with them, right? Like, I 100% agree that people that are found guilty of terrorism should not have their citizenship removed, so they can be brought back to Canada and tried for treason and hung.
If you are 100% convicted of it, I don't think you should make it to the next meal. But that's a whole other. That's a whole other topic, right? But that
should be taken away. So I agreed with Trudeau on that one, right? Like their citizenship should not be revoked.
No, but at the same time, I don't feel they should come back and end up getting a gigantic payday.
They come back and get hung. That's how that works.
Yeah. But
can't I just leave them where they are and let nature take its course?
I mean, you could also that is also an option. I'm not against that option, but I'm also saying that I'm fine with them coming back here
as long as
being hung.
Yeah. But the problem is, right, when they come back.
I agree with Trudeau, but not for the same reason. Much like
very, very, very opposite ends of the spectrum reasons.
Yeah. So you agree with them being able to come back and get hung, where Trudeau agrees, like, hey, come back.
They should
and learn how to do haiku poetry.
And here's a gigantic fucking payday, right?
Yeah, that's where our opinions differ. Yeah.
Okay.
Is what happens when they come back, but allowing them back is where we agree on things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think that's the thing.
I
You're going to have some
not
people...
really like.
Yeah, no, like I don't 100% disagree with Gavin, but I don't really agree with it. You know,
and usually Gavin and I are really close on stuff, and in this one, I feel like we're not.
I'm okay with using the 5 cents in rope.
Who pays for the COVID hotel?
Oh, this is in the before times.
Oh, okay.
But
if
what
we're
about
talking
now?
about the now times, obviously it's on their dime.
All right. I can get behind that.
But as we saw from all of the photos from that part of the world, COVID doesn't exist there, so that's not a concern. Nobody.
Oh yeah, because Afghanistan literally just outlawed COVID. They just can't
nobody's
do
wearing
that
a
here.
mask, so it
People
can't.
are
It's
doing
not
COVID.
happening.
We
Did
don't
you
do the
see it?
COVID.
Did you see how much shit they left from the States there when they left, buddy? They got enough armories. COVID can try. They got enough stuff. They'll take care of that.
I'm just all I'm asking is CIA. Where's my creative Hiluxes and AKs? That's all I need to know.
I just want an MRAP. I just want an MRAP. That's
I just
so much
want
to ask.
one.
bro.
I just want one MRAP.
One M
Daily driver. That's
MRAP.
all I'm asking for.
or 2 Hiluxes. I'm negotiable.
A
And
Hilux
the
with
50
a creative AKs
the
in the
50,
bad.
the 50 has to stay attached.
I will
to
source my
MRAP.
own necklace.
No,
of yours.
12.7 millimeter DKH or whatever however you spell that Russian gun.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm negotiable. What you got left?
Yeah, Pierre's like $20, $20.
Just saying, right? You guys are like, no, I need a creative AKs, and the
I
guy's
just
just
want
like, no,
something
I
that's bigger
yeah.
than 30 cal attached to somewhere.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what I
front of
say.
the
You
vehicle.
get one of those Russian 12.7 millimeters. Yeah,
Yeah,
mounted
the
at the top. You're
yeah.
technical.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what the name is, but yeah.
No, fuck that. I'm gonna put it on the top of my Prius.
Well, like, so I have an idea.
Pretty sure that has to be a minigun, but okay.
I have an idea. They've got a bunch of new hardware. They've got a bunch of old hardware.
We'll take the old stuff. Surplus.
I'll take the PKMs and the RPKs and all of that. I will take that.
I'm even willing to take that surplus right there. Why not?
Just take it off your hands. It's just collecting rust right there. You know?
Yeah.
The internet tells me that the belt-fed machine gun I am thinking of is the DSHK M38 heavy machine gun.
Oh, the Ditchka. That's what it is.
Ditchka. Thank you.
That's
Yes.
what we're talking about. Yes, thank you.
It's the Russian 50. It's the
it's got the
12.7
big
millimeter.
Giant, big giant.
Yeah, I'll take
on
one
the
of
front.
those.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's in a lot.
If it's around, yeah. If you don't, I'll take whatever you got, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It does look like it has a very accurate optic on it.
I just want an MRAP.
the anti-aircraft circle thing.
Yeah, the big wires.
The MRAP is the real lifted truck for real men.
I mean, MRAP, Bearcat, that thing they make in Oshawa, the Gurkha. I'm not picky. Give me.
Yeah.
But seriously, a Hilux with the creative AKs, and I'd be a happy warlord.
Even like a half.
We could share. You could share your AKs. I would share my MRAP. We could go on shooting runs to shoot commies or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A Pterodyne. I'd take a Pterodyne.
Which one's a Pterodyne?
Yeah, that's the Gurkha. That's the one in Oshawa.
Okay. Yeah.
Or like even one of those old Hummers. I'd take one of those.
I really would too. Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
preferably the slant back with the X doors, but like I'm not even.
Oh, we're talking about cars. My mistake.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's that too.
Yeah, they got too much facial hair.
I would like a package deal. Throw
Yeah,
in
kind of
a
package.
Hummer in a Hummer.
I'll take
Never
2
a bad
Hummers.
idea.
You throw in a 50, something like that.
Yeah.
I feel
Okay,
like we're
but you
getting
mean
off topic here, but
Do you mean 2 vehicles or 1 vehicle in the other one?
One inside of the other is
$20
perfect.
is $20.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll even take the shot up Hummer that doesn't run. I'll figure it out when I get home. I
True.
can fix it.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
It's true.
I can fix
I know a diesel mechanic.
As I say, you may know a diesel mechanic. He may even be on this panel.
Yeah, there may be
We'll
more
get
than
it
one.
Yeah.
We'll get it sorted.
Make sure when you boys steal the Humvee, make sure you get the keys. Those are hard to come by.
Unless it's one of those military ones.
Yeah, the military ones
That's
don't need keys.
that's the joke, Gavin.
Okay,
Thank you for
Not
the
all
slow
of our
kids.
listeners understand that.
If we
Looking out for
steal one
Battery
and we
power
don't get the
on.
You just have to know how to
Hold the
flip the
crank.
switches.
Yeah.
yeah.
Battery power on. Hold the crank. It's the same for a fire truck. Just in case you wanted to know this,
should this information become relevant at some point in the future?
Also, speaking of fire and things like that, there's a key that firemen use for an elevator.
Yes.
It's the same for all elevators, allegedly.
Yes.
You can buy it for $10 on eBay. Allegedly, just
in case you were moving and you needed the elevator for personal
if you
use.
needed to do the service thing for the
Or in
elevator,
case-
it's very
in case you
illegal
get
for you to
home.
have this key. But if you happen to have a key that fits your bike lock that's the same, it'll work.
In case you get home and you live on the 12th floor and it's rush hour and you got to make it a poopy, you can get up there, no problem.
Yeah.
$20 is $20.
Malicious compliance is the best compliance. Something like that.
Malicious compliance is the best compliance. I don't know. For some reason I was hating government a minute ago. I don't remember why. I'm still going.
Really off government.
I mean, good enough. Other closing thoughts on Confessions of an Economic Hitman? Anybody got anything that they didn't already get to say that they?
I mean, I guess I got a couple comments.
Oh boy.
Fuck government.
Yes. And Ayn Rand. Don't forget Ayn Rand.
Well, no, but she would like that. So no.
Yeah, not in like a kinky way. I mean, like in a I don't want to read her books because somebody suggested that for book club, and I'm not down.
Like a very regular missionary, on schedule kind of way, so that she would very much detest it.
But are you with a hole in the sheet? Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was just about to say. Like the Handmaid's Tale, where you got to put the sheet, cut the hole,
and also fuck this John son of a bitch that basically was like, I feel bad about fucking the world, but also money.
Yeah, but
allow me to write a best-selling New York Times novel where I don't name names,
where I can get even more filthy stinking rich.
Yeah, and then I write a sequel in order to make more money, but it's the same book as the first one with just a little bit more, and I still don't name names.
Hey, bro, Ferrari payments aren't cheap, okay?
Yeah, right. Like towards the end of the book, he's like, "Oh, I quit at 35." He's like, I didn't stay till I was 40, so I didn't make like 20 million when I retired. And I'm like, your payday was still pretty good. Yeah, like, you know what?
Compelling argument. Please face the wall.
Right? Yeah.
Would you like a cigarette? Yes. Okay. Here you go. Can I light that for you? Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want the blindfold or not?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a good. I'm glad that this was a Marty suggestion, as I recall.
No.
Good, great suggestion. Solid read.
No, I liked it. Yeah. It was a good read. I think everybody should read it just to, open up your mind to the possibility that maybe, if you didn't really think this stuff was going on before, maybe you should, maybe think about it.
Well, and I'm still not convinced that it's necessarily going on, because if it was going on and the CIA was legitimately assassinating people, do you think that the U.S. government would allow this kind of material to be published?
Well, like I said, I think it's a little too late now anyways, right?
So that all depends, right? Because those assassinations were how many years ago? And they were so vague that like a plane blew up with it. We think the CIA put a bomb on it. Well, that happened, 20 years ago? You'd think you're going to find any evidence linking it back.
In 20 other
but that's the thing, right? Like, if this guy was that dangerous and if the things that he could say could get a bunch of people in trouble, the people that care about that kind of stuff would be watching this guy all day, every day. So that he even starts talking to a book publisher, he has a heart attack. Or
gets, a mysterious heart attack.
Or the dump truck accidentally pulled in front of him and T-boned the fuck out of him and kept driving for 5 kilometers.
Or he
accidentally
suicide by shooting himself in the back of the head twice. Like, these things happen.
It's crisscrossed, like in Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a firefight. I really need to fix the drops. I really am going to work on that at some point.
I know.
But I don't know. I really, really, really want this to be 100% true, much like you, because confirmation bias is so delicious. It's just like,
we knew it.
But I think the truth is maybe somewhere in the middle, right? Where it's
as it is with most things, I think this guy is. I mean, he's trying to write a best-selling novel to cash in and write a best-selling novel, and maybe he's trying to clear his conscience, and maybe he does feel bad, but also he's a dirty liberal, and
Yeah.
I mean, if you felt so bad, you would have given all your money to charity. Honestly,
I'm gonna write this made up nonsense so that people think that this is total right wing propaganda to hate on the people on this side, and draw more. Like who knows, man? Like there could be people that are trying to play 4D chess and being good at it or really bad at it. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. This world is so weird that I can't tell truth from political satire. And
don't like this timeline anymore.
I know you hear weird things. You're like, there is no way that is real, and you're like, wait a minute, that was
probably real. It's probably
and then
real.
other things you're like, okay, that seems legit. You're like, what? That was totally made up. I don't know. I don't even know what to believe anymore. I'm just waiting until we all get to wear leather and drive around in the desert, fighting each other over tankers of gasoline. That's all I'm waiting for. Right
leather / cut up tires.
Fair.
Just saying.
Yeah. And old hockey and or football equipment.
Yes.
Spray painted black.
I'm good with it.
I'm not upset about this plan. Actually, yeah. I got to work on my my tire crafting skills, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you adhere two pieces of tire together? Is that a rivet? I can't weld them.
Tires?
No, rivets.
Tires? Nah,
Probably,
just torch. Just get a really good fucking
Yeah,
torch.
Get it hot, melt it together.
But
Melt
you
it
can
together.
like friction weld it, like just like.
So we're okay.
Or
We're gonna
riveting.
have to work
I
on
think.
that.
I mean, Canadians are good at riveting things. So.
Yeah, but the problem is our rivets are weak and easy to disassemble.
That is not true. Look at gun laws.
Yeah.
Right. We
Right.
put rivets.
No, that's a good point. Rivets are permanently modifying things. That's a very good point.
No, they are like the Canadian rivets are best, bro.
Yeah, I have a whole wall of magazines over there that are riveted, and not a single one of them has ever failed.
And when does your New York Times best-selling novel come out?
Well, I go through buds next week, so give me 2 weeks to get through that, and then
2 weeks from now, yeah,
then I'll have a novel.
Well, as much as Gavin jokes about that, next month's book for October.
Yes.
October, we are not doing a Navy SEAL book, but we are doing Inside Delta Force.
The real Navy SEAls.
They have literally nothing to do with the Navy. They work for the Army.
The better Navy SEAls, let's put it that way.
Yeah, they're not even like
that's
like
that's they might be better than the SEAls. But they're not SEAls. They're two different criterias.
I'm just saying the better
next month's
special
book.
Forces. The better special forces.
Is his last name pronounced Haney?
Haney, yeah.
Haney, Eric Haney, Inside Delta Force.
He was also what got the show The Unit started as well, in case anybody's on the show.
Oh, with not Denzel Washington.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, David Coping. Can't remember his name. No.
He's the insurance guy.
Yeah. That's all state, Stan.
Yeah. That's what I said. Not Denzel Washington.
Because if it doesn't work, they send Delta Force out to the people that smashed into you and get your money.
No, I believe they were called Jackals. No, sorry, that was this month.
This book, yeah.
That was this month. Sorry, we're good.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy a book or other things on Amazon, because that's where you buy things, because you're like me and it's convenient, or you get a discount on diapers because
or you want to see another penis rocket.
Mm-hmm.
I really could do without ever seeing any penis rockets, actually.
As long as it's not coming at me, I'm good.
I see what you did there, and I'm just moving past it.
You need your drops for that little rim shot, just like.
I'm good. I'm super good. If you are using Amazon for any of your online shopping, if you use our affiliate link, we do get a little bit of that money, which is nice because it helps me help pay the bills. This podcasting is cheap, but it is not free. So if you are shopping on Amazon, use that affiliate link. It'll give us a couple of dollars. You're literally taking penis power rocket money out of Elon Musk's Jeff Bezos's pocket.
Yeah.
Wrong multi-billionaire.
Yeah, you're both helping him and hurting him all at the same time. It's a very weird Ayn Rand type situation going on there.
Less Hugo Boss.
Yeah. More penis rockets.
More penis rockets.
Yeah, so don't be a complete idiot like me. I literally ordered that fucking book while we were talking and didn't use the fucking affiliate link. I gotta preset that, man. I don't know how many times has it been that I've said it. I'm like, oh man, I should have ordered all this money and like on. Yeah, so but I knew prior to
ordered a
everybody,
bunch of stuff lately and I forgot. So.
Right. I have an excuse. I knew prior to everybody, but now you've mentioned what it is and the link. Hopefully, more.
That's right. And I put the link in the show notes. So if you go to the show notes for the show, so if you go to the website,
just do it.
And the podcasts are there.
Just go right now and order something. Just do it. Just to see it works.
Click on the link, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it literally takes a couple bucks from Amazon and gives them to us, which is cool.
I usually go to the bigblueowl.biz just because it's funny.
It is funny.
And then I follow that one, but.
We're also on Discord if you want to come hang out and talk crap about the government or anyone else, really. Go
or hear in advance that we're not going to be on Mondays.
I did put up an announcement this week to the Discord users saying that we were busy. I had gun club stuff to do. Gavin, Dave, and I all had gun club stuff to do. It was really, really awful, and I have a massive amount of regrets.
But we're like baby steps closer to something better. Maybe.
And if I would have been put in charge by myself of doing this, I would have just got drunk and probably ended up naked by the end of the night. So,
well, I mean, the solo Tim show.
That's
works.
not the reason I would have guessed that we got kicked off of YouTube, but okay.
$20 is $20.
Yeah, you heard it
fair,
right there.
Fair enough. Let's go. Let's go anti-clockwise. I'm going to start with Gavin on my screen. Gavin, where can people find you on the internet?
The best place to find me is currently on Instagram, UrbXGTA, all one word.
I have to take a pause and address the Chris's comment. There's a surprisingly large number of communist and leftist books in this podcast lately, and that's concerning. Know thy enemy, as Sun Tzu might tell you. But I mean, like
that's another one we got to do.
We need to know what
the Art of War is such a hard read.
Yeah, I'm gonna call in sick for that episode. I'm just saying,
bro. The Book of Five Rings is worse. And I've done them both.
I mean, the Book of Five Rings is it's good, but it's not an easy read.
That's why I'm reading the damn book.
So just to clarify, we're in Ontario. I get 10 free sick days, right? So I've already clarified 2 of these call-in sick days.
Yeah,
with these 2 books.
Yes. Yes.
I've got 8 more.
Well, inside Delta Force, and I mean, part of it is know your enemy. I didn't realize this was going to be a leftist being a leftist, although I guess I should have surmised that from the synopsis on Amazon. I should have figured that out, but I didn't realize that this guy was like a raging liberal.
Yeah. No. Also, maybe I should buffer this with a little right-leaning Christian content for those people. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. It's all about that, bro. You got to know your enemy. We sit down with them, we eat with them, we know them.
I know,
hang out with them.
We stab them while they're sleeping.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just not looking.
Just like in the good old days in the Highlands of Scotland. Where they came in the middle of the night and went for dinner and then murdered them in their sleep.
Right, and with the book title, I was kind of surprised how leftist this book was written. Like that the title was a little misleading.
I will promise that we are never doing Saul Alinsky again.
Well, let's not say things we can't take back.
No, I'm done. I'm so done with that commie. I am, and
it's important there was the playbook.
There was a lot of discussion today about doing Atlas Shrugged. And I definitely cussed a lot and said that I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, I really did not like Saul Alinsky, but I would read more of his stuff just to know more so that I'm better prepared.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. It's just not an enjoyable read. This was at least like
This wasn't a bad read.
it was a
Yeah, it was
decent
like
book. It was
yeah.
a decent book. It was
Yeah.
well written. His prose is not bad. It's not amazing.
It's not terrible.
It's not bad.
It didn't want to make me.
It's written
skip
at
down.
like it's probably written at an 8th grade reading level. Like it wasn't.
It's not a difficult read. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want some right-wing propaganda, like I would gladly reread some Evola.
I would do some Julius.
Yeah.
Evola.
So handbook for right-wing youth.
Yeah. Okay. Put it on the list. Let's do that one.
Do that in December, maybe?
There are some
or in November.
Spicy articles in that collection of works.
That'll be December. It'll be a fantastic Christmas for everybody.
Yeah. He gets a little weird. He's not a fan of jazz music. Just putting that out there.
Okay.
Like,
well, wasn't our
neither am
friend
I.
Saul also not a fan of
Yeah.
jazz music?
well,
Noted.
I'm not a huge fan of jazz music.
I mean, he
Either.
certainly enjoyed going to the theater after feeding a bunch of people beans, but
Oh yeah. What a loser.
yeah.
That's like so lame.
I'll some comments in the after show chat for you gentlemen about his disdain for the jazz music.
Oh, fuck him. I'll tickle pin now. Let's hurry up and finish this.
All right. Well, okay. October, Inside Delta Force. November, a handbook for right-wing youth.
Fair.
Sounds good.
December, how to overthrow a government.
Hopefully, when I order the second book, I use the affiliate link this time.
That
There
would
you
be
go.
well. Give me a little bit to get the show notes out, because if you want to play along at home, if you go to the website, CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/CPP, and today's episode number, which, as Gavin has reminded us very early, today is 316. So if you go to CPP316, it'll come up, or it's on the homepage, or you can search the title. Or if you go to the book club tab at the top of the website, I have the previous episodes and the upcoming books listed. You just click the link and it magic of the internet happens.
Or
Penis
maybe-
rockets abound.
Do you have it? Do we have that on Discord? Like now that we've had it, are we gonna put it on not Dick Club? Sorry.
I'm not putting it on Dick Club. No.
Yeah, no, you guys
I
were talking all
thought you
through this.
agreed to the rules. Nobody talks about Dick Club.
With how many dicks I see around, someone's broken the rule.
I am
Damn it,
concerned.
Yeah.
If
Or
you-
just come join us on Discord and we'll figure it out from there.
Go on Discord, or if you go on the website, under every episode, or if you go to book club, there's a tab called book club, or it's CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/book-club. All of the books that we've done with the link to the episode where we discussed it, except for Industrial Society and its Future, because for some reason the website ate those ones. You can still download them. You just can't
It's
see
kind of
them on the
appropriate,
website.
though.
I will fix that at some point. And then
Have we finished doing self plugs?
oh no, we still got to go around the room. I got distracted by the internet.
Oh, okay.
Pierre, where can everyone find you?
You can email Off the Wall Customizing. We're also on Facebook, a bunch of other shit, but you'll probably end up talking to my wife, but she's pretty cool. And
$20 is $20.
Man.
yeah, if you're a douchebag, she'll put you in your place. I'm not worried about it. So don't be a douchebag. Anything you can think of, we can put on the hat, shirt, anything.
Including don't be a douchebag.
Yes, I'm actually
Could you
working on
put
that.
"Don't be a douchebag" on a douchebag?
We could try.
$20 is $20.
I like
Now
your
you're learning.
enthusiasm.
Now you're learning.
Yeah,
Paying attention
don't
to
worry.
the show.
So yeah, pretty much anything you can think of, we can probably make it happen. We're working on a few things.
Right on.
Thank you.
Dave, where can everybody find you?
Find me at Diesel6223 on the IGs. Still getting the odd posts this summer.
Well, your Instagram views of you is my favorite views of you.
Thanks, buddy. We discussed
Hopefully,
this earlier
at
today.
the end of the weekend, there'll be some photos of you that,
Holding more trophies.
yeah, that you can't post or whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna post one from the year previous. I don't see why we shouldn't. And I think I did, didn't I? I think I did.
Yeah, I don't know. You do. You.
I'm not allowed on Facebook, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I'm allowed on Facebook. I just don't bother with it.
If you see another picture of me holding a giant sword with a bunch of teammates on, well, it would be actually Saturday afternoon. They announced
From an
the
undisclosed
team match
location.
From
Yeah.
an undisclosed location. Know
You
that we
should-
were successful in defending our championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should really be careful saying what you're gonna hold as a sword with a bunch of dudes around. Just saying.
It's a real saber, okay?
$20 is 20
Don't,
bucks.
don't diss the saber.
It's not a saber. It's a
very
bastard
large.
sword.
It's like a
Learn your swords, sir.
Yeah.
Which is what has me worried.
This is like this is as bad as earlier today. Dave and I
Yeah.
were arguing about model trains. I'm telling you, the levels of autism that we possess on this show shouldn't even be possible.
It can go
Wow.
from a 12-year-old to a 60-year-old real fast.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
Didn't realize that
really,
you guys
is
were
there,
that
is there
big of
even
an
a
interact,
difference?
but yeah.
Is there really a difference?
No.
Well, yeah,
Toys
swords
just
and
get
trains
bigger.
are totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, the trains are just more elaborate and expensive, right? That's pretty much. what
So
we
are the
agree on.
swords.
I have an extensive sword collection.
It's long, hard, and full of.
No, that's
No,
not a
no,
sword.
it's not a
Submarines?
submarine, Dave. It's not a submarine.
Oh, if you've listened to us for any length of time, I owe you something. So if you're buying a product at Ragnarok Tactical, please use the discount code Patriot. Literally take food from my child's mouth. Get yourself a discount. And we are still doing $10 flat rate shipping. Although September, the free shipping Tuesday thing with Canada Post Small Business is coming to an end. So that means rate increases are probably coming. That makes me a sad business person.
But if you do feel bad about taking food out of his kid's mouth, use the affiliate link and you can make
it all balances out. There's a whole the
potato.
The rightness in the world. We balance things, and it's all.
It's the right level of penis rockets to food out of Andrew's kid's mouth to you getting cool tactical stuff. It all
works out.
Yeah.
For all of our listeners out there in podcast land, I look forward to seeing you in the gulag.